Good morning. Maybe the internet won't go down today. Everyone hear me okay? Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that yesterday. Talking away, and all of a sudden everything went dead. Looks like I missed MARA yesterday. I missed my play. Might be back down this morning though. NKLA, that's the one I thought was going to take off yesterday morning, but it didn't. YELL took off yesterday with a very volatile rise. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it looks like NKLA may make a move this morning too, Bob. I need to switch screens here. AMD's on the move this morning. Greg, it's over on the YouTube channel. Click the videos tab and you'll see it in the list of videos. You can probably just do the pullback strategy, the latest video, the version 4, and you'll get what you see on my screen. Good morning, Jay. NaN means no data available. I don't know where you would see a NaN on the V-Spike though. Only when you maybe touch the. No, it don't even show. Yeah, it shows up when you touch, but NaN just means there's nothing available. Yeah, I think LIDR is probably going to fall hard here soon, being a penny stock. But I could be wrong. If you notice up here, I added a time frame indicator. This would be the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, and the 15 minute chart. And it'll change colors if they don't match. If the 15's down, it'll be red. If the 5 minutes in between the one and the five, it'll be yellow. Dennis, so I'm watching all three time frames. I'm watching a 133 tick chart, a 1 minute, and a 5 minute. And once I'm in a trade, I'm watching the tick chart because it's going to drop the fastest. And when I see the tick chart dropping, I get out. If y'all can ever master trading strictly off the 133T, you'll have a lot better entry trades and exits. Everything with scalping is quick, so the faster you can see the action. I'll load the 133 tick for a second since nothing's going on. I don't have the indicator loaded for it though, but you'll notice the movement here is much faster than anything else. So that's what the 133 looks like. Let's look at the 1 minute. So you can see there's a lot more movement in the 133. If you use the 133, you need to use version 2, and it's still available. I'll keep it available because it's the only thing working on the 133. That's what the 133 looks like with the indicator, with the version 2 indicator. On the tick chart on the 133, you can wait on the crossover. It's going to happen a lot faster than the 1 minute. You'll still get your arrows. And you can see up here, it's just jumping around. You have plenty of time to get out. But sometimes if it's going to fall, your time to get out. Notice how this stock looks on the 133. Let me flip back to the 1 minute and you'll see the difference. So Dennis, I trade off of the tick chart, but I'm also watching the 5 minute. If the 5 minute looks good and the tick chart starts rising, then I'll plan my entry and exit. If you only have one monitor, you can click setup at the top and name your current setup, and then set up the tick chart. And once you get your tick chart set up with version 2, and go back to the top and click setup and save it as 133T. And then all you have to do to switch back and forth is go up to setup and switch between the two desktops. So this morning I have my spike set to 0, only for pre-market. It's going to give us a way earlier indication. Maybe we can catch them before they get to this point. So I'm watching for the slightest movement, and I'll be clicking on each one that starts moving. The lower you can bring that spike down, the sooner you'll know a stock is moving. Pre-market seems to work best with 0.0, but in market open, I'm going to stick with that 100 on everything. Probably going to make me another column in my watch list so that I don't have to keep changing from 0 to 100. I would do it on the live stream, but I'm already out of space. You can see that when it's set to 0, the slightest movement will trigger. Dennis, they definitely do. You just have to get used to the speed. It's a faster trading style. I kind of like to wait till that 133 tick hits a bottom. It'll double bottom just like any other chart, but in a faster pace. If that stock is moving up and it takes a good dip on the 133, that's a good entry. Got to be careful though on the 133 clicking at the top of a rise because it'll drop on you. You have to wait for the pullback just like anything else. Still wait for the crossover on the moving averages and then the green arrow. And those crossovers, they'll happen a lot quicker on the 133 as well. The reason you have to use version 2 on the tick chart is because on tick chart it's not volume, it's orders. And that's what that little counter is down at the bottom right corner of the screen. It's actually an order count. So I can't base it like volume 4 or version 4. The arrows on version 4 are triggered by spikes, and there's no spikes on a tick chart. So every time you see that counter at the bottom right corner go to 133, you're going to get a new candle. Good morning, Desi. See, this stock popped up earlier when it was down in this area, and then it disappeared, and then it came back, and then it disappeared, and then it came back. So you have to keep watching for these stocks that keep popping in and out, because they have some activity, then they don't, then they have more activity. Just means more and more people are finding that stock and clicking on it again. Just because it disappears on this watch list doesn't mean it's not rising. It's just that the spike might not be large enough to pull it back up over here. With this set to 0, I'm hoping to keep catching them as they keep popping in and out. That would have been a pretty good play right there. Yesterday, but fall. This morning, it turns around. It's a thinly traded stock. At least it was yesterday. Today, it seems to have grabbed attention. It's up $1 in pre-market. You look up here at this new label, you can see it's been rising for 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and the 1 minute. So it's been on the move for at least 15 minutes. Dennis, if you're looking at the tick chart on AHI, it doesn't have any arrows because the Stock is thinly traded. There's not enough movement there for it to throw an arrow on the tick chart. See, I got an early spike on NKLA. It was down below 1%. I clicked on it and we get the first candle, maybe on a turnaround. You have to really keep your eyes on this column so that you can get in early enough to make a good profit. So now I have my eye on VRT. It says bullish, but it's not moving. I'm waiting to see if it moves. AHI just popped up, green. This is after the run though, so I wouldn't trust it here. You can really pinpoint these early entries if you just concentrate right here and don't let anything distract you. Back road, I try not to boggle my mind with what the Fed's doing or what the news is saying or what JP Morgan says. I mainly just concentrate on this V spike, and if it's moving, I'm interested. The credit downgrade would be great. Since you posted it, this is my first awareness. I was not even aware of it because it's not something that's going to interest me. I'm only interested in that column right here. Any kind of news or activity in all of the companies, if something's going to happen, and if it's good or bad, it's going to show up in this column. All we care about is it moving up or is it moving down? So you see I clicked on the GTHX. If this were to take off, it's going to work its way up the ladder. The more people that get interested, it'll start climbing. It'll eventually come up here if it's strong enough. We're at the 7 o'clock hour. That's why you're seeing a spike here. A lot more stocks join the board. Already calming down. Oh, my screen refreshed too late, and we already had a tall green arrow. That's the downfall of scans and ThinkorSwim, is they refresh about every 5 minutes. And then we continue to monitor that refresh live with this spike indicator. But 5 minutes from now, there's a refresh in the next 5 minutes, if the stock pops up between that next refresh, you're not going to see it until the refresh. Some of you will get lucky and it'll refresh and you'll catch it at the bottom, and some of us won't. Yeah, Backroad, you got to get rid of all distractions. You got to be 100% focused right here on this column. And if you weren't here this morning, I told everybody I have it set to 0 for the purpose of pre-market and trying to catch these candles or these rises as soon as they start happening. So we're going to be hitting them below 0 here, below 1%. So we're watching for the slightest movement of something that pops up so that we can possibly get in at the lowest candle before the rise. Gee, man, it's a lot more accurate. It's actually monitoring the V spike also before it throws that green or red arrow. So it's watching for pullbacks, the moving average crossover. Is it the first green candle after a set of red pullbacks? And is it spiking before it throws an arrow? So it's confirming 3 or 4 times before that arrow hits. The screen you're looking at, Bob, is the version 4. Yes, it is. On good market days, if we weren't in this down market, you would see some 8s, 10s, 20% spikes over here. And they'll start out low and they'll just work their way up to the higher percentage levels. But ever since we've been in this down market, it's been very small percentages. It's like we're all playing the bounces off of the lows. Nothing has encouraged me to pull the trigger this morning, at least not yet. Jay, that same indicator V4 will work on all of those time frames. You just load it and select which time frame you want. Or are you talking about the label up there at the top of the chart? I just posted it in the chat. It's a shared link. So you're going to go to setup at the top of your screen and open shared. You're going to copy that link, go to setup at the top of the screen, open shared item, hit Control V to paste it, then preview it and import it. So if you use it and you're on a 1 minute chart, it's going to show 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15. But if you go to a 5 minute chart, it's only going to show the 5 and the 15. And if you go to a 15-minute chart, it's only going to show the 15, I mean. You're welcome. Nothing really happening at the moment. when you're monitoring this list, make sure you check the red ones too. It could be just a small pullback and then back up. Red doesn't mean don't click, it means check. Greg, it's not shareable. It's actually a code you have to copy. There's a special way to install it. If you go to the videos, one of the very first videos I believe was called ThinkorSwim Scanner. And that one video has the code, and the scripts are always in the first comment below the video. Or there's a video called All Scripts Are Here. You can actually download the list of all of the scripts and search, but you're going to need to watch the video on how to install it. I'd walk you through it, but this morning I'm trading, so this is not the proper time for me. I'm sorry. Very important you view all the videos if you're new to the channel system that we're using. Make sure you subscribe and like the video and hit the bell icon, and each time I put out a video, you'll be notified. And I always suggest monitor this stocks on your computer screen, not mine. Mine is probably 5 seconds delayed, maybe a little more, and you'll miss a good entry. It's okay to watch this screen and this stream in the mornings to learn, but if you're trading, you should be watching your own screen. So if you notice, I keep clicking on different stocks. I'm monitoring the whole list. And this is what you should be doing. If you're looking for a trade, just start clicking down the list, either red or green, it doesn't matter. and find that early entry that you need to get in. Even if it's not moving, it may look like the screen that you're seeing now, and it could instantly turn around bullish and start rising. These stocks are movers. They're not sitting there. They're doing something. Screen where you can also monitor the watch list. And up at the top is your news. Make sure there's no symbol in the news. So if you have your screen linked to a color on the news, unlink it, put in no stock symbol, then the three bars to the right of the word that says live news, detach the screen. And when you detach the screen, you can resize it and drag it over to where you want to put it. Thank you, Greg. Over 700 people think it is as well. And it's free. Whenever that VXX pops up, that means the SPY is going down. This stock, well, it's not actually a stock, I don't think. But if the SPY is dropping, it's always rising. If this is dropping, the SPY is rising. I believe it's an index fund, really. I've never really even looked it up. You can make money off the VXX. It's not as much as a stock, but if the market's down all day and you're in the VIX, you're making money. So on bad market days, just remember, have this VXX in your watch list, and you can come over here and maybe make 20, 30 cents off of this one fund right here. See, I'm just clicking down the list and I ran upon that one. Of course, I don't play pennies, but those penny players would enjoy that. G-Man, you create a basic watch list or you create a basic scan with the price And the volume you like to see, I keep my volume at around 500,000. But in pre-market, I keep it all the way down to 20,000. And there's a special pre-market scan video. And that's really all you do is you create a basic scan of the price and the volume you wish to trade, and then you just monitor it in a watch list and let the V spike indicator do the work. In pre-market, if you click on the word percent spike right here, you can sort it like they're at the bottom now. Now they're just pulling them all up to the top. So this doesn't mean it's only monitoring the top stocks. It's monitoring the entire watch list scan you create and flash and jump to the top. So if anything below jumps to the top. So we're monitoring only the ones that are lighting up here. We don't have to go search for them. You don't like clicking the mouse on all of these things, you can click the top one and just use your down arrow on your keyboard and your up arrow, and you can scroll through these a lot faster. Bunch of penny stocks this morning. See, just clicking through them, I found this one. You see it drops off the list and then it comes right back. I need something in my price range to drop in. you're having trouble deciding what to do on the 1 minute chart, move over to the 5. Create different time frames. And you can do that by clicking this gear icon and going to the favorite time frames. You can create a time frame here of what you prefer. You would click on intraday and how many minutes. Just add it to your list over here. I'm stuck here for some reason. All right, what's the deal? There we go. Cancel here first. Good for you, Bob. You paid for lunch. That's about the price of lunch nowadays. That was a nice catch right there for the penny players. Continually watch for a stock to pop in and disappear and pop in and disappear. It's kind of like a couple of people buy it, then another couple of people find it and they buy it. So they're popping in and out. I know it's pretty difficult to track everything, but these are just some of the things I look for. I'm watching for any kind of movement, whether it be red or green. And I'm watching to see, hey, this one popped in and then it disappears. And then later I look back up there and there it is again. It's a good indication that the buyers are starting to come in. Even if you wrote it down on a tablet beside you, this one popped in, and then if it doesn't show up again, you just scratch it off your list. But if it continues to pop in, see wave D, it's been popping in and popping out, popping in and popping out. It's up 100% since pre-market, 150% actually. But that may have came in before our market opened. Now 149%. You get rid of some of these on this side. Maybe I can widen it up a little bit. I'll just monitor these off of the spike. See, wave D has made it to the top of the list. Now it doesn't even show on the spike. If buyers come back in, it'll jump back up there. Meds is moving. Not seeing a whole lot of volume on meds. Few people buying. Your volume, your current candle volume here, and your last volume, your last bar volume. We have more sellers in it than we do buyers. We have a bearish spike going on. Wave D is back at it. Volume is increasing on meds. You can see the last bar volume that made it all the way to 55. Current bar volume is getting, I guess what I'm trying to say, it's increasing in volume. We were at 5,000 before. Now we're up in the 18s. People are taking interest in this stock. We now have a buyer signal here and a green spike. We're green on 15, 5, and 1. Just a bunch of simple tools. You just need to keep your eyes on these buyers and sellers and this spike. Watch for this moving average crossover and wait for a green arrow to pop in. If there's enough volume and you're interested, then you plan your entry and your exits. So on a stock like meds, if I were to buy this stock, and let's say I caught it around this area here, the crossover happened, and I got in with a green arrow, and the stock pulled up to here, and then we catch this red candle, I'm not going to be concerned about getting out unless this price breaks back down below that 8 EMA. Because you're going to have these red bounces on top above the 8 moving average. And you really shouldn't be concerned about these little red candles as long as the price hasn't broke back down below the 8. There is a chance you could raise your risk level a little bit, but if you get out just because of these little pullbacks, you may miss a lot of money. Just like, for instance, in this one stock right here. You get in, the price broke above, it pulled back, but it did not break down below the 8. If it did, you probably would have taken a small loss here, but it didn't. And the next candle went higher, and then it pulled back again. The next candle went higher. So my exit, if I think I'm going to get stopped out, is going to be this price breaking below that 8. Otherwise, I'm hanging on for the ride. I trade 3 charts. I'm on multiple monitors. I watch the 133T, the 1 minute, and the 5 minute. I compare what's happening on all 3 screens before I make a decision to buy. Or the 2 minute without multiple screens. You could actually just change your time frames and go check each chart before making a decision. If you see the label at the top of this screen, I put a multi-time frame label up there, and there's a link in the chat. And you can monitor the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute chart right here. They're all green. I would still be holding on. I know there's a lot of tall candle wicks on these candles, but in pre-market, there's a lot of people that got in down here, and they're going to start taking their profits on the way up, especially if they're a big share size buyer. They got in for 1,000 shares here, and they see this red candle, they're going to bail. Me, I try not to exceed 1,000 shares unless it's rising. I'll add to that 1,000 shares. But as I said, I'm not worried about getting out unless this price breaks down below that 8. Especially when these two indicators are pointing almost due north. This is a very strong indication that it's going to rise. When you start seeing these moving averages rolling over, it's weakening. When you see the gap widening between the two moving average, it's a strong run up. You can see they're starting to round over, but the price is still above the 8. I would not be concerned about getting out yet. I would definitely be watching it right here, though. It could get a spike down. Like, I'd probably be concerned now. But if I got in down here, yes, I'm losing a little bit of profit, but I'm also hanging on for maybe more. I'm also monitoring the buyers here. They're not as high as I'd like them to be. Now there's no volume. I'm seeing 100% sellers, now 67. I would have got out right there. I would have been happy with what I had. It's really not how much you want to make. I never set a goal for that. You're only going to get what the market awards you. And if you watch the indicators like I just described, it should work out pretty good for you. See, by breaking that 8, now we're down below it. These indicators are rolling over to drop here. I would call this the backside of the run. If a green arrow popped up in here, I would actually wait and see if we break this high right there before thinking about another entry. So right now, this line I put in here, you can you go to your drawing tools. I can't pull it up on this chart. There's not enough real estate up there, but you go to your drawing tools and find the tools, and it's the second one on the right column down. My line. So right now, this line would be acting as resistance. If this price came up and it started bumping off of it like it did here, and the price started moving back down, it was resisted. If it breaks through this level, I'm going to not chase it. I'm going to wait for it to turn around and pull back and retest the top of that line. If it retests and it can't break through, I'll probably take an entry and write it up. So it breaks through, turns back around, bounces off the line. If it gets green and exceeds the turnaround, that means there's more momentum in this stock. There's more buyers coming in. Since it resisted right here and it's below the 8, I doubt that's going to happen. Stacy, I created it manually. You just create a scan with the price range you want to trade and the volume you'd like to see when you do your trading, and that's it. Then you create the watch list and you add that V spike indicator to it. Then you click on the V spike and you sort it by anything down here that moves is going to pop up here. The pre-market scan is different. There's a video on it, how to set it up. It uses the after hours filter because you can't pull up these pre-markets without that filter on. You're welcome. Watch all of the videos on the YouTube channel. They're all about this entire system. I actually suggest you watch them 2 or 3 times. It's kind of like watching a movie. You don't catch it all the first time you watch it. So if you keep reviewing the videos until you get it, you'll be a lot better trader. And as always, subscribe, like the videos, and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. As per my explanation earlier on meds, it broke through here. I got out, and it looks like that would have been a good exit point. So that would have been like from $9 all the way up to $12. I'm going to post a link to the YouTube channel for those of you who need it. We're after 8 o'clock now. I'm not expecting much to happen. Most pre-market investors, if they're in profit, they're going to take their profits before market open, because no one can predict what's going to happen when the market opens. About 8:25, I'm going to change one of these scans over to, this one will stay on all stocks. I'm going to change this one over to the gap and run scan. And we're going to monitor those that gap up and have a great opportunity to run up. The gap and run scan will not populate until a few minutes after market open, because it needs to determine if the stock gapped up, if the volume is increasing, before the gap and run will post any stocks. When I say gap up, it opened higher than yesterday's close. I start these streams about 5 minutes to 6, and I'm Central Time, and I quit trading around 9:30, only because we're in a bear market and it seems to go flat around 9 o'clock. I hold on that extra 30 minutes in anticipation that something might happen. If nothing does, the stream will end at 9:30. Once this market turns around and we're in a bullish market, I'm going to stay online on a live stream until we quit making money. The good news is when my stream ends, you still have this set up on your computer. I do. I also remember when the worst crash happened back in 2008. Back then, I was doing an online course on trading and investing. And 2 days after I launched that platform is when the planes hit the towers in New York and took everything out. So it was a very rough start for a new launch. Parabolic, over in Discord, do you see my screen? Or is it miniaturized down in the corner? Okay, I do enough. I also own a construction company. I don't work the construction company, I'm the owner, but sometimes I've got to show my face when there's issues. There's a way for me to make it bigger in Discord. I just figured out the streaming this morning. I'll get it fine tuned this afternoon so I can do a full screen. I don't know if I share it in one of the chat rooms or if I create a screen share room. I know that when I did do the full screen in one of the chat rooms, I couldn't see any of the text. Yeah, Tom, I made it full screen, but then I couldn't see anybody typing. It was also full screen on my end. And I want to be able to communicate, so I need to figure it out. Yeah, there's an option for full screen, but it blocks me. All I see is the is what I'm screen sharing. I can't see any responses to it. I'm thinking maybe I can do it full screen in a new channel and y'all can still text and I can just flip over back to the text channel. And if you want to watch the full screen, you can go over to the other channel. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. I haven't done it yet though. It's still a learning curve for me in Discord, but I'm getting there. Very low volume on that one. Looks like we're dying out for market open. There's one. A little bit late. So if your scans refresh before mine, you may have caught this a lot earlier than me. 5 minutes would have been back in here somewhere. So if you were watching your V spike and your scan refreshed before me, you may have caught this, and you'd be hanging on until this price breaks back below that 8 moving average. That's why it's important to click on the reds and the greens and not just the greens. It may just be a small pull. You're welcome, Blue. You can see we're quietening down because we're getting close to 8:30. Got about 11 minutes to go. And then I'll be flipping over to the other screen. I'm going to bring my spike level back up to 1%. I brought it down to 0 this morning only for the purpose of pre-market. I'm probably going to create 2 columns so that I'm not continually changing my percentage. I'll just monitor this one for pre-market. I may even name this one percent spike pre-market and name this one market open, or just pre-market and market open. The reason I moved this pre-market down to 0.0 is we're trying to catch better entries. I want to know as soon as the stock starts moving, even if it's below 1%, I want to catch it near the bottom as much as I can. It's a lot more to watch because you're watching any kind of movement, but you'll figure it out. You're not watching that, probably 20, and you'll spot them. If you click on one of them and it continues to rise, this blue line is going to work its way all the way to the top if everybody starts coming in on it. Just make sure you check every one of them, red or green. Like I said earlier, you can click on the top one and use the arrows on your keyboard to go up or down. Couple minutes, I'm gonna flip over and get ready for a market open. I'm gonna go ahead and change the percent spike back to 100. I'm gonna move this one to the gap and run. This one's going to stay on all stocks. When the market opens, this thing's going to populate like you've never seen before. I suggest waiting on the market to calm down. If anything's going to be a strong survivor, they'll be the leftovers over here when the market gets a little calm. I'm also going to sort this column by volume. I need to add it back in there. I took it out for some reason. I think to make more room. Y'all won't have to go through this problem. It's me trying to get enough on the screen to share. There's my volume. So it marks sort by the highest movers. Your only concern should be the ones that's been moving the most this morning. And it'll be spread out like this on your V spike. Just monitor which ones that are the top movers that are gaining or pulling back. Not going to be as volatile as we were monitoring over in the pre-market. It will when the market opens, but it'll calm down. You're welcome, Sandra. Hopefully we don't have that power failure I had yesterday. I still think the internet company needs to send out the day before notifications. We're going to be disconnecting you tomorrow at this time. But they fail to do that. They just unplug you when they're working on the lines with no notification. That's what happened yesterday. Once I went down, I left here about 30 minutes after going down, and there were two trucks at the beginning of my neighborhood working on the lines. I guess they don't think we're important. So if I ever disappear on you, just remember it's not me, it's the. We have another service in the neighborhood called Frontier. I think I'm going to call them and get a backup because Xfinity, it's down at least once a week. It's only for a few minutes, but it's long enough to distract me. Something on my phone trying to monitor it. Yeah, I bought a new mic, Tom. I'm hoping that's going to correct it. I tried plugging in the new mic this morning, but nothing's ever easy. I couldn't get it to function. It was on, but nobody could hear me. So I went back to the smaller mic. We're about 2.5 minutes away from market open. Yeah, I'm still playing, trying to get set up to where I can just come in here in the morning and just turn it on and go. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out Discord, trying to get the mic right. So is everybody experiencing my voice breaking up every now and then? So the ones that are saying yes, are you also on Discord? Hey, here we go. Good luck. So you're going to be watching for these gainers. You're also going to be watching for the pullbacks. You don't have, this is volatile market open. You don't have to do it now. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's kind of like just shooting in the dark here. They may pop up on the first candle, but they may not pop up on the second one. That's why I suggest letting it calm down. I think that stock over here on the gap and run, that was a leftover stuck in the track there. This should refresh in 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5. Watch over here on this gap and run for spikes. Right now I'm watching the XPEV. Made some money on it the other day. It's looking good. XPEV is kind of struggling on the tick chart. Nice jump up. Small pullback. Looks like it's going to fail. That right there is why you wait on the market to calm down. You're not seeing the stream, Wyatt? Anybody hear me? Are we streaming? Okay. XPEV recovered. Come on, I need more than that. Looking weak over on the tick chart. Nice bump. I'm going to take it there. Nice profit for me. So you heard me preach earlier about waiting for this to come back down. When you're scalping, use your own judgment. I'm watching the tick chart over on another screen. I detected this before that red candle and I took my profit. Yeah, I got about 35 cents off of it. Thank you. See if we can find anything else here. That one's down. A little late on that one. Looks like it has a strong run up on the tick chart. Still looking strong right now. Maybe at its peak right there. This is one off the gap and run scanner. It's bullish. Let's see if it's got any more in it. So I'm watching down the list for anything growing. There's one right here. A little bit pricier. It's at a high. Maybe a chance for it to pull back from this high and then go back and retest the high. There's the pullback. Let's see if we can get a retest for about 30, 40 cents, maybe 50. I'm watching the tick chart is how I'm doing this. Let's put a line right up here. Doesn't look like we're going to get that retest, but maybe. On the tick chart, the 8 is below the 21. I'm going to watch it here. Be a dollar swing if we can get it to turn around and go retest. Looks promising. Looking good. I'm watching my tick chart. It's rising. I'm also hoping it don't fail. Don't get me wrong. I'll take that 50 cents right there. I'm not going to chance it. Actually, I got 60. I got 60 cents out of it. That's a good trade. We didn't actually get the retest I wanted, but I'll take that. See you later, Wyatt. 2 days I missed my play on Mara. Looks like I missed it again this morning. Yeah, Mara, it's a good play. I mean, it seems like every other day it's up or down. It's a good one to keep on the watch list. I got my 2 plays for today. I'm done trading. I've reached my goal. I exceeded it a little bit. I'm just watching now, watching everything I could have traded. But I set a goal. Once I reach it, I stop and I start again tomorrow. There's that 9 o'clock hour quietening down. You don't get it in the morning, you could miss out. Unless you're sitting there all day long waiting for it to happen. looking pretty dead this morning. No gap and runs, no spikes. Okay, though, I have a few appointments this morning starting at 10 o'clock, so I'll be bailing at 9:30. Good morning, Larry. KDP was a gap and run play. I just left it on it, and it's continuing to run. A little bit also lower ones that pop in that scan as well. Gap and run stock still moving. And it's moving on lower volume. Might be hard to get out of that one if you have large share size. That was KDP. I'm going to remember that while I check on this one. No volume. Let's see what XPEV did. Did it continue to go? Did I leave money on the table? Uh-oh. Well, that's a good question, Parabolic. It appears that I am, but whether I am or not is the question. Can you hear me over in Discord? Well, I'll work on it a little bit later. I just went over the Discord and asked them if they could hear me, and I didn't get any responses. They tried disconnecting the voice on disconnecting. What about now? Can anyone hear me? I've got it active. I don't know if it's working or not. Well, for some reason, I had to disconnect voice and reconnect voice. Wished I would have known that earlier this morning, but I didn't see really anybody over in Discord typing or anything. I didn't figure anybody was there. Figured everybody was on YouTube. So I'm going to try a screen share over in Discord. So I'm in, that was the full screen option. If you can check it in Discord for me, I'm in the scalp trading room. I don't know if it's sharing to all rooms or just one room. And can you still hear in Discord? Can you see this the stream over in Discord? Is it a full screen or just a small screen? It says I shared a full screen, but I don't see it. I just see a small screen. Okay, so it's working then? So the mic is not working again. So can anybody on Discord hear me? If you have YouTube streaming, mute me on YouTube and see if you can hear me over on Discord. I can't really tell. It's going to be up to y'all to tell me if it's working or not. Yeah, I think I'm fighting a battle here. I think I'm going to have to, I don't know, you can hear me on YouTube, but you can't hear me in Discord. I'll have to figure out which direction or which button, see if I can't figure it out. I don't know if it's muting me when I stream or if there's I'm looking at the mic on the stream and it says it gives me the opportunity to mute it. So I know it's not muted. Okay, it's a good test. We're getting somewhere. Really need to keep YouTube going where all the subscribers and new subscribers come from. Not everybody knows we have a Discord, but a lot of people know we have a YouTube channel. We got about 18 minutes to go when this till this YouTube stream ends. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I do this every trading morning, Monday through Friday, starting at 6 a.m. Central Time, and it usually ends around 9:30, depending on the market. It's been going dead about that time. When we get better markets, I'll stay on streaming YouTube until we quit making money. So about 18 minutes from now, we'll be shutting it down and calling the stream an end. There's nothing moving currently, anyways. I think the biggest plays were pre-market and market open. Around 8:50, 8:55 this morning, it went flat. Those of you who are new, there's a link in the chat for the YouTube channel. Let me make sure it's still in there. It is. If you scroll up towards the top, watch the videos, get set up. Join us here every morning at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. I was wondering if you were on tomorrow. I thought you had a future thing going there. Kind of like last Super Bowl, I was talking to somebody over in Australia, and they were telling me it, it was the next day over there, and I asked him if he could tell me who won the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. Well, I hope y'all all made some money. I made a little. I made my budget, my goal. I think as time passes, we're all going to be profitable. Yeah, that space, I like it. It's better than it being crammed up against the line there. It's like you can have a more clearer picture of the price. That other gap, I think I have the 5 and the 5. That one's actually for the chart, and it leaves 5 spaces at the top of the chart and 5 spaces below the price at the bottom of the chart. That way it contains everything within the chart. So that other one is in on the gear icon and price axis, and it says expansion area. You can put it to 5 and 5 to create that space at the bottom and the top of the chart. See you later, True Blue. You're welcome, Parabolic. All right. Yeah, it's looking like everything's got that trickle down effect now. It's pretty much over for today. I'm going to end the stream a little few minutes early. I've got appointments to make at 10, and I appreciate everyone joining in for the stream. Hope you have a blessed trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central. Have a good one.